All right, buckle up, everyone, because this week's deep dive is going to be a wild one. NFTs and blockchain are absolutely exploding right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
We've got major moves in gaming, the metaverse, crazy investments, and even NFTs hitting the shelves at Walgreens. It's mind-blowing.
It's a lot to keep up with, for sure. But
Yeah.
that's why we're
You
here.
got it. We're diving deep into all the latest developments, breaking it down so it actually makes sense.
I'm ready to untangle this web. This week is a great example of just how fast this tech is moving and the impact it's already having.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's start with gaming, because that seems to be the hottest spot right now. Companies like Duo Gaming are leading this charge with reward-focused Web3 games.
Right, and it's not just a fad. It's a whole new model that could really revolutionize the gaming industry.
So basically, imagine playing your favorite game and earning crypto just by playing.
Exactly. It incentivizes players in a totally new way, and I
Yeah.
think it has huge potential to bring those traditional gamers who might be a little hesitant about Web3 into the fold.
Yeah, it makes total sense. I mean, who wouldn't want to get paid to play?
Right.
Okay, speaking of game changers, let's talk about these AI-powered virtual universes that are popping up. It's like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the level of customization is incredible. Forget those preset avatars. We're talking virtual worlds that adapt to you.
Like Network, right?
That-
They're creating these crazy metaverse experiences where you can literally build anything you can imagine.
Exactly. AI and blockchain are combining to create these hyper-realistic, immersive metaverse experiences. It's pretty mind-blowing.
So basically, the metaverse is becoming less of a pre-programmed world and more of a blank canvas for us to create on.
I like that analogy. It's a really exciting time for the metaverse.
Okay, so we've got gaming and earning and these insane AI-powered metaverses. But let's zoom in on one specific example, not Pixel and their PX token.
This is a great example of how in-game tokens are becoming a real force in the gaming world. These tokens actually represent ownership within the game, and Not Pixel has created this awesome guide to help players maximize their earnings with PX.
So it's like a whole mini economy within the game, and players can actually see real-world financial returns based on their skill and effort.
Precisely. It's a whole new way to think about gaming and earning.
Okay, now for all you anime fans out there, get ready because Ghost in the Shell is coming to the NFT world.
This is huge.
Yeah.
One of the most iconic anime series is launching a collection of NFTs on Animoca Brands,
Yeah.
Japan's platform Sora.
Yeah, so fans can own a piece of this cyberpunk classic in a whole new way.
It's a really smart move.
Uh-huh.
And we're seeing more and more mainstream brands and franchises jump into the NFT space, which is a huge sign that NFTs are going mainstream.
Totally. It's like this perfect storm of nostalgia and cutting-edge technology.
Exactly. And it's only going to get bigger.
All right, speaking of bridging the old and the new Pixels, is celebrating Halloween in a very Web3 way.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
They've got these themed mini games, spooky quests, and even a Dennis the Dentist's Haunted Harvest where you can earn crypto by smashing virtual skulls. Have you ever earned crypto by smashing virtual skulls? I think not.
I have not. That's awesome.
It's wild, right? And it highlights this growing trend of limited time events in blockchain games. They're a great way to build community and drive value for in-game items.
For sure. These events create a lot of buzz and get people really engaged. And Pixels is actually partnering with Yield Guild Games for a Halloween energy party with a virtual costume contest and interactive quests.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears now and talk about the engine that's driving this whole ecosystem, investments and technological advancements.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So Infinex, a multi-chain DeFi platform, just secured a massive $68 million funding round. And get this, some of the biggest names in the game are backing them, including Peter Thiel and Vitalik Buterin.
Wow, that is huge. This kind of investment shows just how much confidence there is in DeFi and NFT platforms, especially those that offer cross-chain functionality and tools for digital creators.
Makes sense though, right? Cross-chain functionality makes it way easier for people to use different blockchains, which is crucial for a truly interconnected Web3 world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all about breaking down those barriers and creating a more seamless experience.
Okay, and here's another big move. Kraken, the cryptocurrency exchange giant, just launched an Ethereum-compatible Layer 2 platform built on Optimism's Superchain. Now, Layer 2 solutions are all about solving the scalability problem that blockchain faces, right?
Yeah, as more and more people use blockchain, the network can get bogged down, leading to slower transactions and higher fees. But Layer 2 solutions like Kraken's new platform take some of that workload off the main Ethereum blockchain, which makes things much faster and cheaper for users.
Gotcha. So it's like creating an express lane for transactions, which is super important for making Web3 more user-friendly.
You got it. It's all about improving the user experience, and Kraken is clearly committed to building a more scalable and efficient blockchain ecosystem.
And speaking of making blockchain more user-friendly, let's talk about Polygon's latest move. They've integrated ERC-7683. Now, I know that sounds super technical, but it's basically a big step toward making the blockchain world a lot more seamless, right?
Right. ERC 7683 enables cross-chain interoperability, which basically means that assets can be transferred easily between different blockchains.
Okay, so instead of all these different blockchains being like isolated islands, they're becoming more connected.
Exactly. And that opens up a ton of possibilities for DeFi gaming, digital commerce, and pretty much every area of the blockchain ecosystem.
It's like we're building the foundation for a more fluid and interconnected digital economy.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so we've got AI anime interoperability. This deep dive is already a wild ride. But here's a curveball. Pudgy penguins, those adorable little NFT creatures, are waddling their way from the digital world straight into your local Walgreens.
Wait, really? That's amazing.
Yep, you can now buy Pudgy Penguins collectible toys at Walgreens, right alongside your toothpaste and Halloween candy.
I love it. This is a brilliant way to introduce NFTs to a wider audience and make them more accessible to people who might not be familiar with blockchain technology.
Exactly. It takes the intimidation factor out of it and makes NFTs feel more like, well, collectible toys that you can actually hold in your hand.
It's a great way to demonstrate the tangible value of NFTs
Yeah.
and normalize their presence in our everyday lives.
And who doesn't love a cute penguin?
Seriously, they're adorable.
This is only part one, and we've already covered a ton of ground. Are you ready for more?
Bring it on. I'm ready. This week really does feel like things are changing big time for NFTs and blockchain.
Yeah, it does.
It's like all these different trends like gaming and finance and entertainment are all starting to come together.
Exactly. Remember those old sci-fi movies where people were always plugged into these virtual worlds? It
Yeah.
feels like we're getting closer and closer to that becoming reality.
Right. And it's not just a fantasy anymore. We're seeing real-world applications every day.
Yeah.
Like those play-to-earn gaming models where players actually have financial control, or the way different blockchains are connecting with each other.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. Like, imagine a world where you can earn crypto by playing your favorite game and then use those earnings to buy virtual property in the metaverse and connect with people from all over the world.
The potential is huge. And we're really just at the beginning.
Yeah.
As blockchain technology keeps getting better, we're going to see even more amazing things happening.
I'm excited to see where it all goes, but I think it's also important to remember that with any new technology, there are always potential downsides.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Security, scalability, and figuring out the whole regulatory landscape are all challenges that we need to address as this space keeps growing.
Right. We can't just get caught up in all the hype and excitement. We have to be smart about it and understand the risks, too.
Totally. It's important to be critical, to do your research, and not be afraid to ask questions.
Knowledge is power, right? Especially in a space that's evolving as quickly as this one. And I think it's also important to keep the human element in mind.
What do you mean?
Well, at the end of the day, all this technology is just a tool, right? It's up to us to decide how we want to use it.
You're right. It's a powerful tool that could be used to create a more equitable and inclusive society, or it could just end up making existing inequalities even worse.
Exactly. The choices we make now will have a huge impact on the future. So we need to be thoughtful about it.
I'm optimistic, though.
Hmm.
I really believe that if we're careful and we focus on developing this technology ethically, we can create a better world for everyone.
I hope so. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the big picture, the trends, the investments, the future possibilities, but let's get down to brass tacks. What are some concrete things that people can do right now to get involved in all of this?
Well, first things first, learn more about blockchain technology and all the different ways it's being used. There's so many online resources, communities, and educational platforms out there that can help you get started.
Yeah, just dive in and start exploring. And don't be afraid to experiment a little. Try out a play-to-earn game. Maybe check out a virtual event in the metaverse. The best way to learn is by doing...
I agree. And remember, this is a community-driven space. Connect with other people, share what you know, and get involved in the conversation. That's how we're going to push this technology forward.
I love that. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We talked about the crazy news from this week. We explored AI-powered metaverses, and we even talked about the philosophical implications of this whole blockchain revolution. But there's one thing we haven't really touched on, the intersection of NFTs and the physical world.
Hmm, that's interesting. We've seen a few examples of it, like those NFT-linked physical goods and the way blockchain is being used in supply chains.
Right, but what happens when those two worlds really collide? I mean, truly merge together?
That's a great question. Imagine a future where the lines between the digital and the physical are totally blurred, where you can seamlessly move between virtual experiences and real-world interactions, and where digital assets have real tangible value.
Whoa, that's trippy. Like, imagine owning a virtual storefront in the metaverse that's connected to a physical location in your city, or a digital piece of art that also exists as a physical sculpture in your living room.
It's a wild concept, right?
Yeah.
It's both exciting and a little scary when you think about all the implications.
Yeah, it definitely raises some big questions about ownership, privacy, and even the nature of reality itself.
We're talking about a fundamental shift in how we understand and interact with the world.
And it's happening right now. It's up to us to shape this future and make sure it's one that benefits everyone.
I couldn't agree more. We have a responsibility to use this technology wisely and create a more just sustainable and equitable world.
Okay, I think it's time to move on to part 3.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into NFTs and blockchain. It's been quite a ride, hasn't it?
It really has. We've covered so much ground.
Yeah, from AI-powered metaverses to pudgy penguins at Walgreens.
And everything in between.
It really feels like we're witnessing the birth of a whole new digital era.
I agree. We're seeing a fundamental shift in how we interact, create, and do business.
But with all this talk about the future, it's easy to lose sight of the present. What can people actually do to get involved in this space right now?
That's a great question. And the good news is you don't need to be a tech genius or a crypto millionaire to get started.
So where should people start?
Well, great first step is to just learn more about blockchain technology. There are so many resources available online.
Yeah, just dive in and start exploring.
And don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Experiment with NFTs, try out a play-to-earn game, or check out a virtual event in the metaverse.
The best way to learn is by doing right.
Exactly. And remember, this is a community-driven space. Connect with other people, share your knowledge, and get involved in the conversation.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought. We've talked a lot about how NFTs and blockchain are changing the digital world. But what about their impact on the physical world?
That's an interesting question. What happens when those two realms truly collide?
It's a mind-blowing concept. Imagine a future where the lines between digital and physical are completely blurred.
Where you can seamlessly move between virtual experiences and real-world interactions.
And where digital ownership translates into tangible, real-world value.
It's exciting and a little bit daunting at the same time.
Yeah, it definitely raises some big questions.
But ultimately, I think it's up to us to shape this future and ensure that this technology is used for good.
To create a more equitable, sustainable, and just world for everyone.
Well said.
So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
And most importantly, share your insights and ideas with the world.
That's it for this deep dive, folks. Until next time, stay curious and keep on diving.